Scanning the internet.
So let's scan the internet. So to scan the internet, you actually scan for ports.
So what are internet ports, you may ask? Well,
Ports are a way of telling you what services run on a server. Server runs services. Those services listen for connections. Those connections listen on ports. Each port has a port number, and we can scan those port numbers to discover what services are running on the server. So for example, a web server runs on port 80, SSH runs on port 22, and there's loads of these. They're all sort of standardized, so you don't need to type the port number when you go to a website in your web browser, because your web browser already knows it'll be running on port 80 or 443. So services running programs listen on certain ports. You can scan the IP addresses of servers to figure out what ports that server is listening on. So therefore you can find out what services that server is running. People might not advertise they're running a service. They might think it's a secure way, just because they don't have a DNS name pointing to their service or what have you. So for example, a lot of people will run like remote access tools. They won't advertise that they're running them, but you can actually discover that they are running them using port scanning, which is what we're going to do today. Yeah, they even might run Minecraft servers that they don't want you to know about, or even, in the worst case, lots of people actually run like sort of industrial control systems, which is bad, of course. You don't want to give away access to your factory to some random script kiddie with port scanning abilities, which has happened before. So the most common port scanning tool is called Nmap, which you've probably heard of before, and it's good to know, but today we're going to be talking about Masscan because it's the best for scanning lots of hosts. So we're going to scan the entire internet today. We're not, but I'm going to show you how to do that if you want to. So let's just show you sort of what we can do with Masscan. So this website here is called Shodan.io. They basically scan the entire internet for us, and we can look at what they found. So here you can see like open webcams, industrial control systems like we talked about before, video games, like so you can look for Minecraft servers, but you have to log in. But I'll show you how to scan for Minecraft servers. You can do it yourself. Yeah, so we can find open webcams by going here, you just click it and click that, it'll take you to the IP, and then there you go, admin, and then you can try and log in. It didn't work, thankfully their default password is not admin, but this is just sort of the thing, look, this isn't on port 80, so we've actually put the port number in here for this poor person's webcam that's going to have lots of people clicking on it. But thankfully they don't have the default password set up, so hopefully no one will be able to view their cameras. But anyway, let's do a simple scan for web servers. So we're gonna do web servers because they're generally public and people don't really care if you visit them. In fact, they probably want you to visit them. I'm gonna scan AWS. AWS is a public-facing cloud where these things are generally open anyway, so hopefully no one will get too mad at me for doing this. Let me make this bigger. So yeah, we're gonna use Masscan for this. So that's the program there. You just install it from your package, your repos. Yeah. You have to run it as root. You put in sudo masscan-p, so you put the port number you want to scan. So we just want to scan for 80, which is the port that web servers run on. And then you want to put your IP address range you want to scan in. So this belongs to Amazon, these IP addresses here. If I scan these, we should find some people's web servers. Let's just stop for now. You see here, discovered open port 80. So this will just be a website. So we can actually open up this. If I open this up here, let's have a look. And what's that? It's just someone's Debian page. Look at that. So they haven't configured their web server, but they've installed it. Let's go to a different one. Let's go to this one. This is, let's just go for it. It's unsafe. Okay, it's a login for something. Fine. Cool pyramid background though. This one. Again, another just default installation page. Jesus, these people aren't very good at actually making their websites work, are they? And this is sort of fine what we're doing. This is basically what Google will do. They'll web crawl you. There's a server uptime here. Oh. Okay, no, that's insane. I thought that was in days. That'd be a very vulnerable server. But interesting enough. That looks like an endpoint for data collection, actually. Right, so there's a lot there, right? That was kind of awful to click through. So we can actually run that same command, but save it to a list. So we do OL, so output in a list, and then webservers.txt, like that. So you see that scanning all those hosts. This is actually pretty slow, as you can see here. So if I just cancel it now, and then up the rate, so up how quick it scans. So let's do that much. That's probably going to be quicker. That only took seconds, so that was much quicker. So we found 600 open web servers, and we scanned 65,000 hosts, and we have found 599 open web servers. So then if we go into webservers.txt, there we are. So these are all the open ports here. So now we can actually create a script to loop through all these and like load up the website, take a screenshot, and then see if it's anything interesting. Or we can actually, just curl it and check its headers, which you can actually do in Masscan, but I'm not going to show you that today. It's out of scope of the video. So that's just scanning for web servers, but we can actually scan for every single port to discover what service is open. So if we know the port numbers, we can compare those to services. So to do that, I'll actually be scanning my own web server, because scanning every open port on a server can get you banned from those. They might block you if they detect you doing that, because it's generally, you're only scanning for ports if you're wanting to do something malicious. But when I was younger, I did it just because it was interesting, right? I mean, I didn't do it. I'm not liable for anything. So you do a port range here. So that's the amount of ports we're going to be scanning. So we're going to be scanning ports from port 0 to the maximum. And then we're scanning my web server. Feel free to scan it yourself. So I'm only expecting there to be 2 open ports here. So my web server runs a web server. So as we know, port 80. And SSH, correct, port 22. You need to know these for your exams, kids. So yeah, let's scan. Again, hopefully only finding 2 ports open. Oh, there's 1. So 443, this is actually HTTPS. I was wrong to say 80 before. If you said 443, you get an extra point. And 22, so we don't expect to find any different ones. Okay, there won't be any different ones. I'm just going to cancel this. So there's going to be, so we just scanned every port on my web server, and we only found 2 open ones, which is what we expected. So now you can scan a range for every open port. So we could scan that range we did before for every open port on every server in that range, save them to a file, and then go through them at our leisure, or only look for ones we're interested in. To scan the entire internet, you would actually do this. So that just means the entire internet, every single IP address, IPv4 on the internet, every port, 65535, yeah, that's correct. And then that's up the rate a lot. So I'm not going to run this, but if you wanted to scan the entire internet, which is what this website has done, you can do it using this command here. It would take a long time. So if you think about it, scanning every port on every host of the internet, I don't know how many IP addresses there are. So it's scanning 4.3 billion IPv4 addresses. So that takes us about 655,000 hours. Obviously you want to up the rate and think about what ports you're scanning. So let's say you only want to scan for SSH, just do that. Or only want web servers, do that. If you want to search every Minecraft server ever, I think that's the Minecraft port. So that would find open Minecraft servers for us. Okay, so you have to exclude one address if you're scanning the whole internet. So that's running now. You see how long it's going to take. I'm scanning lots of hosts. Oh, we found some Minecraft servers. Right, we have a look at these then. I don't have Minecraft in school. Feel free to check out that website. So yeah, it's generally a bad idea to scan the whole internet for many reasons. It could be illegal, maybe. It's probably not. It's generally not. It's like a grey area. Courts don't really understand it. Your IP address will probably get banned from some parts of the internet if you do it, so you'll get put onto blacklists. Yeah, you might get banned. You might get lots of captcha added to when you browse using your IP, because they're like, oh, this guy might be a scammer. So to prevent this, use today's sponsor, which is a VPN. We don't have a sponsor. If any VPN companies would like to sponsor me, you can. And I will recommend your services to be used for port scanning purposes. Yeah, if you're going to port scan, be safe. What else could you port scan if you wanted to? Port 5900, which is VNC, remote desktop for Linux servers. So that's generally used in industrial control systems. So if you ever wanted to hack a factory, you could do that. Microsoft Remote Desktop Protocol 3389. So generally, Microsoft's remote desktop is chock full of vulnerabilities, which is why it's basically always hidden behind firewalls and stuff, so you can't access it from the public internet. If you can find a host with 3389 available to the public, you can probably break into their computer.
Don't do it.
Unless you want to.
You can find open databases and cache servers. Their default configuration is just using a user with like admin password. Redis cache, default is just completely open. Same with memcached. So if you find those services open, you can banner grab them, or you can even like save them all to a file and then run a script that checks if they're open. By default, when you install them, there's no password or users configured for them. So something else, a good port to scan, you can scan for FTP, so port 21, I believe. Port 21, yes. A lot of people won't put passwords on their FTP servers, which can be fine. They can be used to share files. So like the GNU project has a big FTP server full of all their files on it, right? You can find ones that people don't know are open to the public, and you can find like interesting or just boring documents on there. It's interesting to take a look and see what people have left exposed for anyone to find if they just know how to find it. You do now. So that's how you port scan things. Don't do anything stupid, please. Don't blame me if you get in trouble. Don't blame me if you get banned from the internet. Not liable. This is not financial advice.